Let's look at some ways to fix a photo in Photoshop Elements, which is one of its specialties. And by fixing a photo, I mean you have one there's something wrong with it as far as the lighting or some other problem, and you can fix that problem pretty well and pretty automatically in Photoshop Elements. So we got this picture of this professional model, and we want to try to enhance it. You can tell one of the main things is the color is kind of odd. It's kind of brown. The background, that wall, is actually supposed to be a lot more whitish. The color is pretty yellow, having to do with the nature of the lighting. So what I want to do is use this enhance menu, and the first and simplest thing I can do is say auto smart fix, which includes all of the different ways it has of fixing a photo. These kind of main ways are with contrast and color and levels. So I do that, and it looks a little better. You can see it with the first one. Here's the first version, kind of gray, more yellowish. The next version looks a little better, looks a little more realistic. But let's do undo and try something else. So now we can we can also change the levels automatically, contrast automatically, color correction automatically, and sharpen automatically. And any one of these may make it better, and you just kind of have to experiment. So auto levels, that looks better. Auto contrast, that didn't do as much. Auto color correction, that actually probably did the best of all. It looks like an entirely different picture if you look at the two. There's the original, there's the new one. And then finally auto sharpen, which didn't do much at all. So now so those are simple automatic ways that the program will help you. Then the red eye fix, of course, it doesn't look like we have a red eye problem, but you can automatically fix it. Okay, so now there's more manual ways you can go about doing it, and there's several different ones, and we'll just look at a couple. But let me suffice to say that within this enhance menu is pretty much everything you need to try to fix a photo. Okay, so now if I want to adjust the smart mix, all I do, since I have the preview on, I can see what changes. It's just the degree of smart fix you want. So I can keep increasing it. I can try all kinds of levels. This is the 100%, but it may look better at a lower percentage. This actually probably looks better at the 100%. But auto, what it did was it adjusted them to 40. The program adjusted it to 40%. Okay, so then another manual thing, we can adjust the lighting, and there's several different things. So just for example, brightness and contrast, I can go here and change the brightness levels, which help actually quite a bit, increase the contrast, decrease the contrast. So you just have to play around to see what works best. Let's see, what else have we got here? Well, there's other lighting things you can do too. Just color. There's some pretty interesting things here. See, this color cast thing is pretty interesting because you just start with a gray or white area and you click on it, and everything else is adjusted immediately. So I click on this white part of his t-shirt and things are adjusted a certain way. If I click on this gray part of the t-shirt, it's also adjusted slightly differently. Probably the first one was a little better, but that's one interesting tool. And then we can also adjust, remove color, replace color, adjust color curves. That's kind of a cool one, even though it's a little complex. But so these color curves are actually different aspects of the color, and you can adjust them in many ways. So like if we have first of all, you can select the style. Like let's say light and shadows. Now that looks really bad. Solarize, that looks pretty cool, but this is a whole different effect as far as adjusting a photo. But I'm a sucker for anything that looks cool, but we probably don't want to do that. So we go to default, and you can adjust highlights and brightness and mid-tone, etc. Try to make the picture a little better, but you can get it more detail this way. So say cancel. Let's look at maybe one or two more. Here's an interesting one for skin tone that you can click on what you think is a skin color, and then adjusts things accordingly. Now like this, he's pretty red, and so I can kind of get rid of the blush, make him a little more tanned, let's say. I can change the ambient light temperature, but see what that does is actually get it back to the way it was before. So say cancel. Any of those things in the enhance menu can help adjust a photo to make it look better, but most of them you're going to have to play with a little bit just to get the optimal adjustment. You can actually select an area and just adjust that part of the image. So what I've done is I selected this guy apart from the background. So say in this picture, for example, maybe just the background is what we want to change. So right now I have the background selected. I use the lasso, the magnetic lasso tool, and so now see with that selected I can go to enhance and, for example, say adjust lighting, brightness, contrast. So now if I make it brighter, notice it just brightens the area on the outside, not on the inside. And so maybe I think the picture's fine, but the background is bad. Now conversely, I could change just the image, and right now I have the outside selected, but I can say select inverse, which means now I got the guy selected, and I could do all kinds of stuff here too. So adjust color. Let's say just for grins, I want to replace color. So let's say I want to change the hue to more greenish. Notice his face is getting more green, but it's not affecting the saturation. Oh, let's make it big just for grins. So now his face is getting even more green, and the lightness is increasing, etc. I probably don't want to do that, but I can, and I can even just do like a auto smart fix, and it'll smart fix his face, but it won't change the background, which is interesting. So that's the way that you can combine selection with color correction. And again, most everything you want to know about color correction is in this enhance menu.